1968 in Chicago was very divided. People got sick of the unfair housing and the absentee landlords and needed change. These are the people who started the Chicago Freedom Movement. Absentee landlords are landlords who don't live at the apartment and rarely visit or take care of the building. The Chicago Freedom Movement was a movement that launched a series of efforts in the city. They tried to clean up apartment buildings and redirect the rent of residents. The Chicago Freedom Movement of 1968 was led by Martin Luther King Jr., James Bevel, and Al Raby. The movement consisted of big rallies, marches, and a lot of demands for the city of Chicago. It expanded on civil rights laws, and as a result, the Fair Housing Act of 1968 was passed. There are two parts to the Fair Housing Act: outlawing real estate discrimination and promoting integration. The former states that landlords are forbidden to discriminate against people based on their race, while the later states that different races should be integrated into the same neighborhoods. We are still struggling with that one today, as most neighborhoods are generally populated by the same race. This is shown on the New York Times Mapping Segregation website, where it is shown that practically all the neighborhoods in the major cities of America are incredibly segregated. For example, the Upper West Side and East Sides of Manhattan, New York, are 70% to 90% white and less than 10% black. In the play, A Raise in the Sun, there is a colored family named the Youngers, who have a small apartment that barely fits all of them. The Chicago Freedom Movement and Fair Housing Act would have very much helped the Youngers in this situation. If the Fair Housing Act was passed, then they wouldn't have to pay as much to rent their current apartment. On the other hand, during the Chicago Freedom Movement, there were marches and riots that Walter, an arrogant, angry member of the Youngers, would happily participate in, most likely hurting him or the rest of the Youngers. The Chicago Freedom Movement was an event that would supposedly improve the lives of many. However, it hasn't done nearly enough. We have almost abolished housing discrimination in America. There are still places in the nation that profiteers would discriminate against people because of race or economic stability. Howbeit, the Chicago Freedom Movement has positively impacted innumerable lives by allowing them to pay less for housing and live freely with people of racial and monetary diversity.